topic. Today is December 8th. Everyone should be updating their table of contents and labeling the top of their notes page. Okay, remember we label our notes with the date and the topic. Today is December 8th. Okay, and your topic is slavery and the Civil War. And by the end of today, you'll be able to explain how the issue of slavery affected the United States. So everyone should be making their notes page. Nice, Anna. Give this a header. Slavery and the Civil War. So we've been mentioning, again, through different parts, okay, through different parts of these lessons the past week about slavery. And today we're going to kind of look at how things started to progress as we get closer and closer to the war. But before we do that, we need to quickly review from last week, okay? The Missouri Compromise. What did we say the Missouri Compromise was, Jotun?
It was the compromise that added Missouri as a slave state and Maine as a free state.
Yes. It added Missouri as a slave state, and it added Maine as a free state. And then it drew a line. And what did that line say?
No.
Anything
Above or below? Which way?
below.
Uh-huh.
Is slave.
Everything below the line is slave, and everything above is free. The Missouri Compromise. Good. Compromise of 1850. What was it? There was one state that was trying to come in, but it's a really big state.
California.
California. Good, John. California's trying to come in, but what's the problem? Are they above or below the line?
Above.
They're both. So what did they do?
They became a free state.
They became a free state, and then we had to give some things back, though.
The other territories have to become slave
The rest of the entire Mexican territory that they had to allow slavery. Last one, Kansas, Nebraska. What happened? Kansas, Nebraska, are they above or below the line?
Above.
Above, which means that they should be
A free slave.
free. And how did they end up deciding whether to be free or slave?
Fighting.
popular time.
By popular sovereignty, which led to fighting, okay? Popular sovereignty by voting whether to be free or slave, and then that caused fighting to break out between the two sides. Okay, so keep those in the back of your head as you're thinking about what we're doing today. Now, a lot of you have said, oh, well, I would have just rebelled. I would have just slapped my master. I would have just fought back. Well, the problem is that realistically, you probably wouldn't have done that. Some people did try to do that. Two of those people. One is Nat Turner. Nat Turner did try to rebel. He tried to get people to rise up against their masters. Okay? And you can see he's mildly successful. 1831, 60 whites were killed before his rebellion ended. Now, that's 60 whites out of a couple million that are living in the South. Is that a successful rebellion? Did he end slavery?
No.
No. I mean, he caused a lot of havoc. He caused a lot of problems.
How did he die?
Got killed for his crimes. Okay, we need to go back and make questions for our notes. Okay? So we're going to go back and we're going to add one question for each one. And let's try to make these questions like some level 2 questions, some hows, whys. Okay? Casey, can you turn the backlight back on? No. Okay, first slide. Slave rebellions. What's a question I can ask about slave rebellions? Okay, what happened during what were the 2 biggest slave rebellions? That's a good one. Let's add a part to that. And were they successful? Good. What were the 2 slave rebellions? What were the 2 big slave rebellions, and were they successful? No. Okay. Your next slide was about the abolitionist movement, about William Lloyd Garrison and Frederick Douglass. Okay. What I want you to do now, okay, find somebody near you. I know a couple of you are sitting by yourselves. Find someone near you. I want you to cover, Casey, I want you to cover the right side of your paper. Either fold it over or just take another sheet and cover it. Okay? And I want you to ask the questions we just made to the person next to you and see if they can answer them. Okay? If they can't, you can help them. Okay? Turn to someone near you and quiz the person next to you. Okay? So you're going to cover the right side of your paper. You could fold it however you want to do it. Okay? And turn to the person next to you or a person near you.
Why was Uncle Tom's Cabin so important? It was important it was important because it was a book, and the people in the North read it, and they felt bad for the slaves. How did they enforce the Some whites helped the slaves, and the people in the North helped them. I was right. Yay! I
see that.
Who did it? No, they was not successful because they didn't kill like a lot of like.
So, slave fight. Edward.
That was just
I can see them.
Good. Next one.
Okay.
Timeline.
Okay?
Right here.
How did the issue of slavery affect the United States? Use 2 examples from your notes to support your answer. Okay? How is it going to do that? Okay, so what's one way that it affected the United States? Didn't people's minds start to change?
Yep, the North.
Yes. So how did the North's minds start to change? Why?
Because they felt bad.
Because they were more aware. How were they more aware?
Because they had more factories and stuff.
Okay, so we had Uncle Tom's Cabin. Okay, so we had the one book that made people more aware.
How can we tell which
Okay, we're writing our summaries. Come on. What was one way people became more aware of slavery? Book.
Would you have tried to stop slavery? Would you have tried to stop slavery? Would you be the next Frederick
Okay, tell me a little bit more. Give me another specific example, okay? How did people find out about slavery? How did people start to find out about slavery? Because so it affects the United States. And I started to hear about slavery. How? Right. They had books, they had newspapers. Write that. That's good.
Miss, can I say the answer, please?
In a minute, let people write their answer first. I know you were very excited to share.
Slavery affected us by people dying at Uncle Tom's Cabin.